I looked at my husband type person and said, my son is gone. And he's like, what are you talking about? I said, there's police officers at the door. We opened the door and there was an officer and there was a chaplain. And he said, something about being a chaplain. And I'm like, of course you are. And today's that day. Today's the day that I get that visit. I remember vividly thinking that. And then he says, I think he told me that my child was gone. And for the rumors and for those who are curious, he and his girlfriend surprised a burglar in his apartment, a 17-year-old kid who won. He had two guns and he won. So as we stood there, I'm told that I just kept asking what happened. What happened? And I remember asking once, but I was told I asked several times. And
you don't remember?
Yeah. And I apparently told the chaplain, I don't care about all that other stuff. I just need to know what happened. I do remember him asking, is it okay if I give you a hug? And I said, if it makes you feel better. I was in a completely.
I get it. I don't even. I cannot understand. I cannot fathom with that visceral reaction. I mean, I've experienced that, losing someone. I've never experienced losing someone that close, valued, dear, love to me as like as my own child. So I can't even say that I comprehend like that moment.
But trauma is trauma. And so I was expecting, I mean, yeah, the loss is there. And if I stop talking right now, I may, burst into tears because I miss him beyond measure.
Right.
But the other side of it is it's the same feeling as for some people getting their report card. And I don't want to diminish. I don't want to diminish it in any way, shape, or form, because there'll be people who'll be like, no, it's totally different. Not chemically, not to our brains. So then what happens?
That's so good.
So now let's talk about the hypervigilance and the, like right now, my startle reflex since losing him, startle is way, things that if somebody dropped something in the other room right now, I would jump. Whereas a year and a half ago, I'd be like, oh, somebody dropped something. And what happens, and when we talk about PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, what happens to us is, as we talked about the book, the body keeps the score.
The body keeps the
it
score.
stays here. We got memories. The body is like, I'm not letting it go. I'm not letting it go. And I can do all kinds of stuff.
Trauma doesn't keep track of time, right? Yeah.
So as I can sit here right now and talk about it, and I'm okay. Today's a good day, but I could be driving home and then just overwhelming feelings of, gosh, if I could just feel your hand right now.
I've had those moments.
And it's a thing.
Like when it just like all of a sudden it comes back to you, like in the least unexpected way, and you're just like, holy smokes. And so you touched on something. You touched on something so good, Rhonda, and I think like something that really changed how I look at behavior is a lot of what we call like the bad behavior is maybe just our nervous system trying to protect itself. Like is maybe just that thing,
Hardcore,
right? And it's like that, yeah.
It's
cool.
I think what's really super sweet is working with all of my children and my family and watching how much we have changed, since, like I said, since I moved to Redding, and since losing my oldest grandchild, and for some people it matters, but also male, and just the impact that's been amazing. There's family members who hadn't spoken in years. There's all sorts of repaired relationships. Wow. People came to me from all over the place and talked about how amazing he was. And there's all these stories that I'm like, wait, he was over there doing what? I've had a client where we're sitting and talking. It's like, wait, you're Trier and Jevin's mom? And I'm like, yeah. And it's like, but your oldest son, yeah. And that speaks to this community.
Yes.
And how amazing people are in this community, but also the behavior that I sat in the car crying about. And it was just, my kid would sit in the back of the class and not say anything and then be too nervous to turn in his work. So then he'd fail at something and then he thought he was a failure, right?
Is this the same son who is?
Same son, okay. Yeah. So here we are bringing it back around to why I'm a therapist. So not knowing and understanding that all of us are in a constant state at some level of little anxiety, little trauma. Like something can happen and change our whole world within moments.
Totally.
But the trauma response, I call it like, it's like the hum. It's like can you hear your hum? That the kids had that back a couple of years ago, the phone alarm that people over 30 couldn't hear.
Oh,
And yeah, and they would
okay.
tease me. They're like, Mr. Honda, you don't hear that? And
can't
I'm
hear it?
like, yeah, I hear it. And they're like, it's not going right now. It's it's residual, right? But there's like this low hum, and for some of us, it doesn't take but that much to make it a much higher volume or a much higher vibration, right?
Okay.
So knowing that my child had anxiety that would then change the way that he thought and what he believed about himself, which would then change his behavior. And all three of my kids, everybody, has, like, you bring me somebody who says they've never experienced a trauma, and I'm going to be like, liar. Right?
Yeah.
Or maybe we just don't know.
But we've also too, do you think like we've been good at like building walls around trauma? And I would especially say like as a guy, like this is the identity that you're kind of slotted in, right? It's like don't show this emotion. Like you should build these walls because the world is not safe, and you should protect yourself because I mean, especially if you've experienced trauma, at such a young age, it's like because nobody else is going to protect you.
Right.
So you better figure it out, dude.
Or if you've been told, don't cry.
Exactly.
I remember telling my kids, because I just, thought I was the most amazing mom on earth. I kind of am. But anyway, no, but I remember saying, okay, stop crying. 'Cause I can't understand you while you're crying. Stop crying. Now with my grandchildren, I'm like, okay, let me know when you're ready.
And they can just feel their feels, and they can
Right.
feel like, and that's so valuable. I just think we don't do that as a society. Like the world's heavy, and it's just like we don't feel our feelings, right? We numb our feelings. Like we don't want to have to deal with that. Like I don't want to have to hear this. I don't want to. So it's like now I'm just trying to like self-soothe. I'm trying to help self-heal, and I'm trying to do whatever I can, whether it's like, alcohol, drugs, porn. I mean, there's a list, right? You just do this list, right? Because it's like I don't want to actually have to feel what that feels like in my body. Right?
And it, like I said, it can be painful, but then the opposite can also be true.